A little boy throws a banana peel off a rooftop, and it doesn't fall. It disappears. 33 years later, he wakes up in his own bed, and his brother is suddenly an adult. But the real twist? This was only the beginning, because the next jump doesn't send him home. It sends him to 1949. Before we begin, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. It really helps small creators like me. Stay till the end for a massive plot twist. The story begins in 1989. A lively, mischievous boy named Teo is playing soccer with his friends in the yard after school. As he runs across the dirt, he imagines himself as Diego Maradona, his football hero, scoring the winning goal. Teo is careless, energetic, and always chasing fun. Homework is the last thing on his mind. One of his friends agrees to do Teo's homework in exchange for a chance to play on his Game Boy. For Teo, that seems like a perfect deal. When the game ends, he runs home as fast as he can, already planning his next adventure. At home, his older brother Oscar lives in a very different world. Oscar is quiet, serious, thoughtful beyond his years. He is studying a pile of old research papers left behind by their mother, who disappeared several years earlier. She was a scientist obsessed with wormholes, mysterious bridges through space and time. Oscar doesn't believe she abandoned them. He believes she made a mistake in her calculations and became trapped somewhere in time. Oscar feeds his pet turtle, Pepe, and prepares dinner for Teo. Since their mother vanished, Oscar has taken on the role of caretaker. Their grandmother looks after them too, but Oscar carries most of the responsibility. When Teo sneaks back into the house through his bedroom window, Oscar notices the scrape on his knee and checks his homework. He doesn't scold him harshly, he just sighs. This has become normal. Later, Teo casually mentions a rumor he heard from a neighbor, that their mother ran away with a married co-worker. The words hit Oscar hard. He immediately rejects the idea. He promises Teo that once he understands their mother's research, he will find her and bring her home. That evening, their grandmother shares a quiet moment with Oscar, asking him not to be too hard on his younger brother. Teo is playful, not careless. Oscar listens, but the weight on his shoulders doesn't lift. The next day, Oscar visits the local shop. The shopkeeper tells stories, as usual. His daughter, Elena, appears and Oscar freezes. He has known her since childhood, but seeing her now leaves him speechless. She invites him to a dance rehearsal for an upcoming festival, but Oscar declines, embarrassed and shy. Later, Elena invites him to the movies. Before Oscar can answer, Teo jumps in and says Oscar is too busy. Elena walks away, clearly disappointed. That night, feeling hurt, Oscar tells their grandmother about Teo sneaking out again. The following day, Teo is home alone, bored and curious. He opens the last remaining folder of their mother's research. Without thinking, he folds the pages into paper airplanes and throws them around the room. Among the papers, he finds her final photograph and a list of strange coordinates. When Oscar returns home, Teo panics. He hides the paper airplanes back in the folder, but quickly slips the sheet with the coordinates into an encyclopedia. Oscar doesn't notice. Later, Teo overhears Oscar talking to Pepe, quietly admitting how much he misses their mother. Guilt settles in Teo's chest. Determined to do something, Teo goes to the location shown in the photograph, the rooftop of a nearby building. Sitting there, he eats a banana and tosses the peel over the edge. It doesn't fall. Instead, it vanishes into a glowing vortex, crackling with energy. Startled, Teo throws his roller skates. They disappear too. Excited and terrified, he throws in more objects. Everything vanishes. Teo realizes he has found a wormhole. He runs home to tell Oscar, but Oscar discovers the ruined research papers first. They argue. Teo tries to explain the wormhole, but Oscar doesn't listen. Their grandmother interrupts and punishes them both for fighting. That night, angry and hurt, Teo grabs Pepe and throws the turtle into the wormhole. The moment he does, regret crashes over him. Oscar searches the house in panic. Seeing this, Teo understands the seriousness of what he's done. Swallowing his fear, he climbs out the window and returns to the rooftop. He jumps into the wormhole to save Pepe. Teo lands 33 years in the future. Miraculously, he finds Pepe alive in a bush. holding the turtle tightly. He sneaks into the nearby house, his house, and climbs into bed. The next morning, Oscar walks past him. But this Oscar has a beard. He is an adult. Teo doesn't understand until Oscar wakes up, shocked to see his missing brother standing there. Oscar faints. Teo stands frozen as the adult version of his brother slowly regains consciousness. Oscar wakes up confused, disoriented, staring at a boy who looks exactly like the brother he lost decades ago. Their grandmother, now very old, enters the room, holding Pepe the turtle. When Oscar sees Teo again, standing there alive, he faints a second time. When Oscar finally calms down, he begins to explain the impossible. It is the year 2022. Teo disappeared 33 years ago. No one ever found him. Oscar grew up believing his little brother was gone forever. Their grandmother aged. Life moved on, and Oscar became a physicist just like their mother. Only then does Teo understand what he's done. He traveled through time. Teo struggles to understand the future. He doesn't recognize the television. He doesn't understand smartphones. Buttons confuse him. Screens confuse him even more. Oscar explains that phones are no longer just phones. They're cameras, music players, gaming consoles, and gateways to the entire world. Teo is amazed. Oscar, however, is overwhelmed. He starts asking questions about the wormhole. Teo jokingly reminds him that he tried to explain everything years ago, but Oscar never listened. Now, decades later, Oscar is finally ready to believe. Teo shows him a photograph of their mother standing near the wormhole. Together, they return to the rooftop. Teo throws a stone into the glowing energy, but this time it bounces back. Oscar realizes something important. This wormhole is only an exit. They cannot return to 1989 from here. To go back, they must find another wormhole, one that leads to the past. Back at home, Oscar discovers Teo secretly invited people using his phone. Soon, Elena arrives with her children, Alba and Pablo. Elena immediately senses something strange. Teo remembers her from childhood and blurts out how beautiful she's become, confusing everyone. As the day continues, Elena begins noticing details Teo shouldn't know. Childhood memories, private moments, familiar jokes. Slowly, suspicion turns into curiosity. Later, Teo copies coordinates from Oscar's calculations when no one is looking. He believes he can return home on his own. That night, without telling anyone, he jumps into another wormhole. And this time, Alba and Pablo follow him. They do not land in 1989. They land in 1949. The children are terrified. There is no signal, no internet, no modern buildings. The world feels smaller, slower, and unfamiliar. Alba's phone is useless. Teo explains that phones don't exist yet, and that going to the police would be dangerous. If authorities discover them, they could become experiments. Back in 2022, Elena realizes her children are missing. Oscar immediately understands what happened. Teo must have taken them through time. Without hesitation, Oscar and Elena jump into the wormhole together. Meanwhile, in 1949, the children try to survive. They perform a small street act to earn food, using Alba's wireless earbuds to fake psychic abilities. The crowd gathers. Money is earned, but police arrive, forcing them to flee using a whistle signal Teo remembers from childhood. Soon after, they're captured by a mysterious young man and taken deep into the forest. The man brings them to a hidden resistance camp. There, Teo hears the same whistle again. And then he sees her. A young woman steps forward. It's his grandmother. Young, strong, armed. Teo is overwhelmed. He hugs her instinctively. She doesn't understand who he is, but she feels a connection she can't explain. The children realize their grandmother was part of the resistance, something she never spoke about in the future. Teo knows they cannot reveal the truth. Changing too much could destroy everything. Meanwhile, Oscar and Elena arrive in 1989, briefly passing through the past. Oscar sees his younger self crying over Teo's disappearance. Unable to stop himself, he whispers reassurance to the boy before leaving. Back in 1949, Teo takes a photograph with his grandmother, carefully stepping out of frame so he won't appear in it. He signs the year and asks her to hang it somewhere visible. This single act becomes the clue. In the present, Oscar notices the photograph has changed. The date proves the children are trapped in the past. Oscar and Elena return to 2022, then jump back into the correct wormhole. When they arrive in 1949, the resistance is already waiting. Teo told them his brother would come. The reunion is emotional. The brothers finally talk honestly. Teo admits he doesn't want to return to 1989. He's seen the future. He's seen who Oscar becomes. He's made friends. He feels important. Oscar finally breaks. He admits how empty his life was without Teo, how losing him shaped everything, how he needs his brother back, not in the future, but in the past. Teo understands. With their grandmother's help, they prepare the return. On the way back, Oscar realizes the young resistance man flirting with Maria is their grandfather. Time closes its loop quietly. Teo returns to 1989. Oscar runs to him and hugs him tightly, overwhelmed with relief. At home, Teo initially lies about where he's been, but when Oscar angrily dismisses time travel and accuses their mother of abandonment, Teo finally tells the truth. He shows Oscar proof. A smartphone. Oscar believes. Teo explains that their mother didn't abandon them. She made a mistake and is trapped in time. Oscar must keep studying her work to save her. Years pass. Oscar and Teo grow up together. Teo has a son, whom he names Diego. Their grandmother grows older, but happier. Elena returns after her divorce, and Oscar finally finds the courage he once lacked. In the final moment, far in the past, their mother lands among monks in the Middle Ages. Lost, but alive. Her story is not over. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribing if you enjoy the content.